Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesusjunkjournals, and I am going to talk about some housekeeping issues. Several people have asked me recently about paper, what I print on, and so I thought I would take a minute because I'm kind of a cheerleader for the Epson EcoTank printers. I've had a couple of them and they work really well. This is Consumer Reports 2022 buying guide, and I thought I would refer to this just so it's not just my opinion. But they give you reviews on all these printers, and you know, we have inkjet printers. There are laser printers, but what I'm going to be talking about are inkjet printers. And you know, I used to buy the ones at Walmart. They were like 50 bucks, and I'm like, wow, these printers, why are they so cheap? Well, the reason is because when you get the replacement ink cartridge, it's like $55. And so they sell you the printer really cheap, hoping that you'll keep buying those cartridges. And the thing is, when you use those color printers, it feels like you get about 10 prints and you're out of ink. And so you get really stingy with printing, and you know, it's not good. So I get it if you don't have, you know, a couple $100 to spend on a printer. If you don't, then forget about it. Do what you can do. Go somewhere and have them printed, or however you need to do it. But if you possibly can, I would highly recommend that you get the EcoTank printer. And mine is an ET2800. So Epson, here, I wrote it on a piece of paper. Epson EcoTank ET2800. I did have a 2720, and so there's several, ET stands for EcoTank. There's several different ones. They go up in price. This is the cheapie, and you can get better ones. I mean, more expensive ones, but the cheap ones work great. Now, let me tell you this. So I say that the one that I had got to where the paper was, it would say that it was jamming, but it wasn't, and it would give me error message that it wasn't right. So I went online to Epson, typed the question in, and they will have you write an email into them, and then they will answer you back, give you possibilities of things to try. And then if those don't work, they kick it up to a phone number, and you call them on the phone. And so I went through that process. It took me a couple days. And the outcome was, they said, well, your printer it needs servicing, and it was under warranty. So they just sent me everything, sent me a shipping label to ship it back for free, and they sent me a new one for free to replace it. So I'm telling you that because, yes, I did have a problem with it, but they did take care of it and send a new one, as long as it's under warranty. I think the warranty, I think it's a year warranty or something. But so I have kind of okay, I'm going to tell you how silly I am. This is telling on myself. So I started out with an Epson ET, whatever it was, and I was printing, and some of my prints were brilliant and beautiful, and other ones were like dull and ugly. And I was like, what's going on with this printer? So I can't even tell you. If you go back and listen to some of my old videos, I'm complaining on them about what's wrong with my printer, why. And what turned out was it was user error. And what it was is I use this Canon matte photo paper, right? And it has a side to it. This is the only one that I know of that has a side to it. Like, you have to print on one side only. And I didn't know that. I thought it was like you could just flip-flop it back and forth. So what I was doing is I was taking some of this paper, put it in the printer. Then when I was done, I'd pull it out, lay it aside, willy-nilly upside down. And so I had my papers all upside down and didn't realize it. So as I put them back into print, some would come out brilliant, some would come out ugly. And I was blaming the printer. And so I finally got so exasperated that I went and bought a new printer. And then I read the fine print, and I'm going to show it to you, and realized it was not the printer, it was me putting the paper in wrong. So let me show you This is the one I buy. Get it on Amazon, and it's I don't know what it is right now, but it's been the cheapest matte photo paper that I've found. It did go out of stock. You know how things keep going out of stock now. And I substituted with one from Walmart. I think it was called Pen and Gear, kind of their store brand or whatever. And it was cheap, and it worked. And it was double-sided. Like I could flip it and it would be fine on both sides. And so that was at Walmart. But then I looked back on Amazon, and they restocked this, and it was cheaper to buy this. So I bought a bunch of this, like 5 or 6 packages of it. So anyway, this is, people ask me what I use or what I recommend. I like this one, but even the Walmart matte photo paper works. But just pay attention. Read the instructions when all else fails. So see this little bitty fine print. I didn't read it. I thought, I don't need to read that. I know what I'm doing. It was quite costly. So I'm telling you so you won't make the same mistake. But as you read through here in the really tiny print, somewhere along here it says, print on the whiter side of the paper. Yeah, huge deal. Okay, and so here, I don't know if you can even see it. Let me show it. I can see it, of course, in person. I don't know if the camera will pick this up. Oh, and this is a piece of cardboard on each side too, that keeps it stable. So here's a couple pieces of the paper. Okay, can you see that? Can you see that one is slightly yellow? This is cream color and this is white. So that made all the difference. I think this has some sort of coating on it so that it absorbs the ink and shows it off better, like for a photo. So make sure that if you get this paper, you use the white side. If you use your paper, just anytime you pull this paper out, check it. Make sure that you're going to be printing on the right side because it's very easy to get it mixed up. Okay, and so back to the printer. I want to show you or tell you about the review on this. This is why this printer is so wonderful. So in this review, it's an all-in-one inkjet printer, and there's different brands, and they tell you the prices, and they have different ratings on different subjects. But when you get over here to the cost for a print, let me make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Text cost, yes. The cost on the Epson EcoTank is like 5 cents. And well, actually, it's less than 5 cents because, like, if this one is 7.3 cents, this is 0.05. So it's like a half of a cent compared to the Brother printer. And they're all like that. 0.03 for this EcoTank. 0.04 for this EcoTank. See, here's the 2720. It was $200. And the cost compared to all these other brands, you can't even compare. So, like, let's just, if this one is 6.5 cents, this is 0.4 cents, like less than a penny, less than half a penny for that print. And so if you look up, if you Google, like, how many prints you can get out of a set of ink for this, it's like 900 prints. Now, I don't understand how they do it. How does Epson manage to give you so many prints when all these other ones can't do it? I mean, it's just night and day tremendous how many prints you can get off of this thing. So even though it's $200, that would get you 4 printers at Walmart. Because I used to just go buy a new printer. Instead of paying $55 for the ink, I'd just get a new printer for $50, came with the ink, and I'd use it until it ran out, and then I'd go buy another printer. I know that's crazy and so wasteful, but it was cheaper to do that than to buy a new set of ink for it. So I also did the thing where you buy the ink and the look like a hypodermic needle and refill them. I went through all that. I've done all of that over the years. And I'm just telling you that this Eco Tank, I know it's $200, but put the $200 out. Get yourself a printer that will print forever. And now I will say this, you do have to use it fairly, like you have to use it probably once a week, once every couple of weeks at least. You can't just let it sit there for 2 or 3 months, because the ink will dry up, because it charges these, whatever they are inside, the ink goes into something, charges it with ink, and so those will dry out. So you can't just let it set for 3 months and not print. But if you're like me, I print fairly often, color. And you know, if you have kids and stuff and they do schoolwork, they're going to love it, because they will always be able to have color and it won't be a concern about how much it costs. So anyway, that is my advertisement for Epson printers, but and the paper. And so if you're printing color, you would use the photo paper, the matte photo paper. However, if you're printing something black and white, or you're doing, you know, the ink saving or whatever, that's when I use just plain old cardstock. And I get that at Walmart, just a big old package of cardstock, and it won't matter because it's not in color. So you do your black and white printing on that because it's cheaper. And then some things, you know, if you're printing like a notepad, which we're going to be making here in a couple of days, you want that on thin paper. Or if you print envelopes, I think they're nicer if they're printed on just regular copy paper, because they're thin like a real envelope. But that's up to you. So those are the 3 papers that I use, and why I use them and when I use them. So I hope that's helpful. I think that's all you need to know from me. And so I will let this go, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.